Should we say that it's take two?
I think we should.
Okay. It's take two because Papa's sound guy is crap at his job.
Take two.
Can't figure out sound gating. We're going.
It's okay. It's okay. We like gates, just not how to use them or Bill.
You should see right now. We have these sick cardboard sound blockers.
Yeah.
With like foam on the inside. Definitely homemade.
Yeah.
Mine has a giant piece of foam sitting on top of it.
I crafted mine to look like a roof.
Yeah. I didn't. I just slapped a piece of foam on top of that mic.
It's like a shanty, like a favela, like a shanty town where they have just like corrugated aluminum roofing on top.
Yep, that's where I'm third world micing right now.
I love it. I love it.
But as long as the sound works.
Yeah, we should be good.
Yep.
Okay.
The beauty of a podcast. Nobody
you
has
don't
to
know.
see how ugly it is.
It's true. It's true. I have taken pictures though. I do have proof. I will release said photos later. It's good. It's good for the community. It's good to know that
it's glorious.
That we're not these rich and famous folk. We're just bros in a room with foam on cardboard,
with masking tape and cardboard, baby.
Yeah, and I have my notes not on a whiteboard. No, sir, it's on a sticky note attached to the tape.
That's taped on the tape.
And I'm also dying, literally.
Yep,
expiring in front of you.
This is where we're at because our room, our
closet. No, it's actually really big.
Our office doesn't have AC, so it's getting a bit warm.
Yeah,
that's okay, baby. Sweat it out.
It's good for you, I guess.
Sweat out the weakness.
To drink more water or something, right?
I need some water.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Well, enough ranting, shall we?
Anyways,
onward with our third episode, number 3, numero trace, as our
3.5, really.
Yeah, 3.1, 3.2. Anyway, so this actually comes from a post I had placed on Marshall's Miniatures Discord, and that is disgusting. Sorry. Context, folks. My buddy.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry
my
about
buddy.
It. Don't worry about it.
No.
Glossing. Gloss it.
I can't gloss.
Gloss over
This is
it.
enough of a diversion they have to know.
No.
I'm looking at my buddy, and he yoinks out like a full-length human hair from his foam enclosure. And it just it keeps coming. And the look on his face was like, this is disgusting.
Obviously, my daughter's been playing with the foam.
Anywho. So this comes from Loken over on Marshall's Miniatures Discord server. And the question is, how have YouTubers impacted the hobby in general and your hobby interaction? So with that being said, I'm going to kick it over to Astartes X.
Ooh.
Logan, and he's going to go ahead and give that answer because I talk forever. So, Logan, go ahead. What's the first reason or way in which YouTube has either impacted the hobby in general or you?
So I think, like you said, there's two aspects to it. It's the general and the personal.
Yep.
I think we should definitely talk about the general, but let's do personal first. If
let's
you're
do
cool
it.
With that.
Oh, I'm so cool with that.
So I guess my number one that I have on my sticky note that's taped to my tape.
Perfect.
That's taped to my microphone is lore.
Yes.
That's really what got me into the Warhammer world.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran across, I got suggested a video by YouTube, Arch. It used to be Arch Warhammer. Now it's just Arch. He does lore videos, and he used to commission people to do art for those. And back in the day, my job was just working on instruments, so I was just sitting there, and so I could just listen to stuff. And so...
Not your standard musical instruments, but carry on.
What?
You weren't working on musical instruments.
No. Electronic instruments.
Yeah.
I can't go into more detail than that. Super secret.
Flex.
But so listening to some of those and kind of getting an idea of the world really kicked off my curiosity. And, that wouldn't have happened without YouTube. I had just in passing heard of Warhammer, but I'd never looked into it. And the kind of old school look of it, when I did see it for the first time, I didn't know what to make of it. So I just kind of, because it wasn't very futuristic looking to me at the time. Understanding the lore now, I absolutely love it. But
Yeah.
that wouldn't have happened if YouTube hadn't have suggested that video, and I wouldn't have started watching the series and getting into it, and then getting into the Audible books and all
That's
that.
so meta, dude. It's like someone was saying basically how the platform, but YouTube itself literally got you into the hobby. Not like
Yeah.
a buddy said, "Hey, let's do this," and then you used YouTube. It's like YouTube's like, "Hey, this might interest you, you nerd."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That's deep tracks right there.
Yeah.
I like it.
What about you?
Well, so did you mention your people that you listen to for lore? I mean, I figure this would be kind of like a highlighty type thing too.
Oh, yeah. So, Arch was one
Yeah.
that I listened to. As far as like other lore goes, as soon as I really got into the lore of it, then I started listening to the Audible books.
Yeah.
But there are some really, really cool content creators out there. You showed me Baldermore.
Baldermore, yeah.
That one is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that guy's voice and his narration, the stories, they're amazing.
Do be sure to take time for fun.
Exactly.
You're welcome.
Exactly.
That's free of charge, everyone.
Copyright.
Copyright, someone else, not me.
Yeah, so that was a big one. And then just this kind of goes into different categories, but once I started learning the lore, then it made sense, like watching people do battle reports
Oh, yeah.
more, and like the stratagems and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so it kind of all trickled down into that.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at YouTube as far as like, well, I can't really go into it.
You're a soft consumer, right? Something interests you, you watch something, and then you move on with your life.
Yeah. I have a really hard time like finding new content, and not because there's not content out there. Yeah, you're smart. You know what I'm talking about. All right. Anyways, what about you?
He's a special one, boys and girls. So for me, my first one is techniques. Just like when you first got started, you were into more of the lore. I was way more interested in painting because I wanted to paint. I wanted to have painted models, and I didn't know how to do it. So I went to YouTube. How to paint ... was basically
Fill in the blank.
Oh yeah, I mean literally faces, fur, flame, all that stuff. And so for that, I kind of gravitated toward Squidmar and Miniac, and then later on Ninjon.
Yeah.
Because they have such a cool way of going in depth of like specific techniques and how I want to try this. So and then they have this like straight up scientific method of how they approach it. And then they do a beautiful job of capturing it on video, which is very difficult. Like it's hard enough to just maybe learn a new technique. Adding a whole different layer of difficulty is trying to make it recorded and then enjoyable for someone else to watch your process.
Right. It's a lot of work.
It's tons of work, and especially by yourself. I mean, only recently, Squidmar has gone full time. Only recently, Miniac has gone full time, and now Ninjon, I believe, has gone full time. But it's only recently.
Right.
So, years and years of doing it by yourself with a camera on a stick right above your face, and then you got to step back and do that's tough.
Well, and then you have the whole video editing process.
Oh yeah, and they do it. They do it in such a way that it's interesting, it's engaging. They have great personalities, and so for me, like those are ones that whenever those three have something new pop up, I watch it, just because I'm always interested. Because I mean, you're learning something. It's not just that was fun to watch, like a Major Kill lore video, where it's all about clapping cheeks and stuff. But
clapping cheeks.
And then I still do learn stuff, but that's just way more fun. But no, with these technique videos, I'm learning something. I'm seeing someone else try it, and obviously their technique and their skills are way better. So it's like if they struggled with this, or if this is a workaround they found, well, then I should just do what worked for them.
Right.
Right? Because I'm not going to I'll just get discouraged and I'll stop.
Learn from history.
Exactly, yeah. From someone else way better. Yeah. Exactly. Okay, so what's your number 2?
Number two is fan excitement.
Ooh.
And so, like, I don't know, when I ran across the Astartes series
Mm.
on YouTube, um, I was blown away. It's just amazing. It was amazing that a fan made that,
Yeah.
and you know, I think when you have content creators that are creating content around your IP, and this kind of segues into the more universal question of
Yeah.
how's YouTube affected it, but we don't have to get into that right this second. But
We do.
oh, we do.
Oh, we diving, boy.
Oh, we going deep. um, no, but like when you have people that love your IP and they love it enough that they're willing to put their time, energy, and money into creating content
Yeah.
about that IP, I think that tells you have a really special thing and that you need to instantly squash it for the money.
Yeah.
No,
Immediately.
yeah.
Yes. Without delay.
No, because I mean, how many people weren't really interested or didn't really know much about, 40K until one of their buddies showed them the Astartes
Yeah.
series of videos.
Yep.
And they're like, holy crap, that looks awesome.
Yeah.
Why are those guys so strong? What's that dude floating in the air for? What's
and
that about?
There were a lot of channels that were like such and such reacts to Astartes, and channels that
yeah.
weren't at all
Yeah.
Warhammer. You know, you have like your standard kind of nerd channels, or like your whatever, like just react channels, and
Yeah.
even those channels were reacting to the awesomeness of Astartes.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And so seeing the love of a fan base, I think can be really inspirational to have you like go do your own thing or, make content like that for those that want to create content. And but again, kind of like we mentioned, that plays to the whole corporate idea of protecting your IP, which I understand, but at the same time, it somebody's making content for free about your IP, then they have a passion and love
Yeah.
for it. If you have a community that's making content about your IP, that community has a passion and love
Yeah.
for it. Like, I do not understand why companies do not cultivate that
Mhm.
idea. Like, there has to be some balance somewhere between protecting your IP
Yeah.
and just appreciating and encouraging your community.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Uh-huh.
imagine if Mini Painting Papa like became huge and whatever, and there's a whole IP behind it. I mean, could you ever imagine yourself like coming in and being like, I need to cut all this content. I need to gate it behind a paywall. I need to make my own app. I need to like,
Absolutely.
yes.
No, I'm
perfect.
kidding. I'm kidding. No, and that's something that I also don't understand is that like where you have to look at where your IP is now, right?
Right.
Games Workshop, look at your IP. Now imagine where you would be without your fans, without people that wrote books that eventually turned into Black Library authors, that without people that invested their own creativity. Like, where would you be?
Right.
When it first started, it was all about creating your own. Hey, here's how to make, turn this kind of box into a tank. Here's how to turn this deodorant stick into a speeder. Like,
yeah.
it was all about doing whatever you could. Here's how to turn these things into terrain.
Right.
It's like whatever it took to get you and your friends playing their game, that was all that mattered. Having a fun time. It went from that to like, oh, well, you're not an officially GW licensed thing, so we're going to go ahead and do a cease and desist. Battle Scribe.
Right.
Like, and the only reason that's there is because your own system doesn't make any stinking sense, or it's not updated with your own rules. Everything is behind a paint. Anyway, sorry.
No, but
ranting.
No, it's true though, because this corporate mindset that these companies get into is just, it's so toxic. And this idea that we have to go after the wider audience, right? You have an incredibly loyal and incredibly loving base.
Yeah.
Yet you'll shun them for the wider audience, or you'll be like, well, we need to, we're protecting our IP. You can't use any third-party bits. And I'm not talking about recast. I'm talking about things that are made that people make, model themselves, and then sell to add flavor to your army, right? Like, what?
Well, and look at the way GW is going right now is like a lot of their stuff is monopose. You buy a box of Marines and there are 10 guys in there and they only go together a certain way. You maybe can change out a weapon, maybe you can change out a head, but it's not just torso, legs, arms. It's this foot all the way up to like part of his neck is one piece. And so if you're taking away via your molding, and sure, I like some of their poses, they're pretty cool, they're dynamic, but if you're taking away the ability for people to customize and make it their own because of the way you sculpt things, and then you make it illegal to use other things that add flair, like third-party bits from Puppets War, Labor Demonica, Cromlech, Bits of War. If you're taking away their ability to do that and participate in your tournament because it's not your specific thing, like you are squashing creativity. You are squashing people's investment into your platform.
Yeah, and community interest, right?
Yeah.
Because how many people want to have the exact same Space Marines in the exact same pose, right? That's not personal. That doesn't add any flavor, right? And so that's the thing I don't understand, and is the duality of the whole fan excitement thing.
Yeah.
Is these companies get to a point and they get big enough where they just go into this corporate mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And just like you said, with the single pose, like it's just mass production.
Yeah.
And you lose the spirit that made people excited.
Yep.
And you lose you purposefully crush the passion out of the community for the sake of uniformity and for the sake of ownership.
Yeah.
And it's just like with the app,
yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
The app came out, and
that's when the band hammer started.
Yeah, when they dropped the band hammer and they started, hoarding all the stuff. And I never paid for the app because you paid for the app, and I watched on your app nothing be there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So funny thing about that. Okay. So I got the app the day it came out because I was super excited. And if you subscribe to the app for 12 straight months, you get this unique, super special app-only miniature. 12 months, unbroken subscription. Okay?
Okay.
And I chose the Assassin in Sniper Nest because it looked really sick. It's an awesome, collects this sniper. I don't know what. There's different assassins. It's an awesome sniper in the head of a statue.
Yeah.
That was the miniature, right? And so everyone else is posting recently, 2 weeks ago, hey, I got my mini. It's exciting. You go on there, you check your status, and I'm like, well, I've been there too. I've been there since the day it opened, so I obviously done my miniature. Apparently, when I had that issue with my card being all wonky because someone decided to market stuff, and my card was weird.
Yeah.
It was those 3 days was during the charging period, so it canceled.
Oh no.
And restarted because it tried again.
Yeah.
And with my new card, and it was fine. It tried again because I had updated my Games Workshop card.
Yeah.
Tried again, it was totally fine.
But that little gap.
Restarted, and now I have 10 and a half months to wait before I get my sniper.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm like, come on.
That's Lang luck right there.
That is Lang luck. If
Yeah.
So that was a kick to the gonads of charisma. You know what I mean? But why?
Why, right? I don't know. Have you reached out to him at all?
Oh no.
Well,
Well, the cool thing
that
is
would be a giant waste of time. But
well, it'd be
maybe
massive
not,
waste of time. But I'm from America. They don't like us.
Talk with an accent.
I couldn't do it.
But imagine if a company that size, instead of going the classic corporate route, which at the end of the day, it's about money, right?
Yeah.
Businesses are there to make money. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But at the same time, it just feels really, really dumb. And, I'm not some mogul. I'm broke. So I can't really be like,
Right.
well, let me tell you how it should be done. But I'm going to
Well,
anyways.
that's what people in our economy are doing, right? That's what people,
Yeah, well,
that's
that's
how we
true.
do.
That's true. That's how we do. But imagine if instead of taking these artists out of the freelance world,
Mhm.
taking them out of the community and sticking them behind a paywall where
Yeah.
their creativity is stifled. They have HR departments and marketing departments and all these other things they have to get
Deadlines.
through.
Yeah.
Imagine if instead they encouraged that,
Yeah.
right? They said, "Hey, this is not official GW stuff, but it's incredible. You did an amazing job. We'd love to hire you to do something like
Mhm.
that, or we'd love
Collaborate.
to collaborate with you, or pay you for your
Yeah.
work, or give you this awesome thing, bring you to the GW, it's just
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
that the community would go, that's amazing. That company did something amazing.
Yeah.
That's an amazing company."
They are investing in the people who are investing in their stuff.
Exactly. Instead of trying to get this wider audience and, well, we got to water everything down. We got to, we got to change everything up. We got to, I mean, and this is not specifically against GW. You know, they have some examples of things that I think
All
are,
corporations in general.
yeah,
Every
well, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing to me to see that how quickly a company will go
Mhm.
from it will grow because of its community
Yep.
to absolutely smashing the community and stifling it because it's mine.
Yeah. To contain it. Yeah.
Yeah.
When it goes from services, when it goes from quality, when it goes from goods provided to we're here, we have a name, now squash, now
Right.
smash,
Right.
now
Just buy our stuff and shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And that's a sad. So that's really long answer for my number 2.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. What's your number 2?
video style.
Video style.
That's it.
That's it.
I'll have to counter your super long. No, I'm just kidding. So like we mentioned with mine at first a little bit, it is difficult to photograph or video the process of painting miniatures, building miniatures, and making it engaging. But when you find someone that like their style, not necessarily just their technique, but their style in doing so is just captivating, that's what I love about YouTube. So for me, it's guys like 52 Miniatures and Midwinter Minis. They have this such a cool feel to their videos. Such a
Yeah.
cool 52 Miniatures. It's darker. It's slow-mo, a lot of B-roll, and then this kind of dry humor voiceover. But it's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. It's perfect. It's everything is there's a setting, a stage, there's a story, there's this arc, right? You can feel there's a start, there's the the hero's journey, and then there's the conclusion, and you see the cool painted models. That's to me is really cool. And he's all about collaboration too. He loves collaborating. And then there's Midwinter Minis, who he makes his own music and he has that playing in the background. And he's also one of those guys that goes into a lot of depth in why he does stuff. But he has just this look and feel of his videos that's just, it's hard to take your eyes away from it. And so for me, getting inspired about that and seeing how they do it kind of makes me like, well, maybe I don't try this different angle, or maybe I want to do more B-roll. Maybe let's reduce the lighting and have, splash lights and have effect or mood lights and stuff like that. So it's really cool for me because that's changed my hobby a lot, because my hobby is not just painting, it's also showcasing it, and putting on Instagram or Discord or whatever. So it has changed just the way I think about portraying it.
Yeah. Well, and finding your own style is challenging.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see people that have really nailed down their own style.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think you'd agree. We've made some stuff and we've been making videos for a long time. Not all of them posted or on this channel or whatever. But it's tough to nail down a style that you like and you can be consistent at, and that it says you.
Well,
it's not a copy of somebody else.
Right. And a style that stays with you regardless of the game you're playing or the content you're making, right? Because sometimes our styles were Conan, and so everything is this cool text, and it's all brutal and savage, and everything's and then you have things like Arc, where the text is different, and so we look at guys like Neebs, where they have the same style, but it's just different games, right? They have a very similar approach to it. And so, like, it's still the Neebs crew, but now they're playing Ark or Stranded Deep or Subnautica or what, you know.
I love Neebs.
I love Neebs too. I mean, I can't watch with my kids, but
no, it's a funny channel though.
But yeah, I mean, like they have nailed their style, right? And their style is not bound to one game,
right?
And so having a style here where like I want a style that's not bound to GW minis, that's not bound to Grimdark,
right?
You know, that could be. I could showcase like a poppy, very colorful miniature, and it would still be, sorry, our style. Almost died right there a little bit. I had to choose between like breathing or like quietly burping, and it just got stuck. So yeah, so you know, I chose death. Apparently, it was a battle. It was a battle from the depths.
For those that don't know, Mini Painting Papa and I also run a sister company called Fidelis Digital Media. So we do drone photography, drone videography. We have a gimbal, a few other things. We don't have a ton of equipment, but we do a lot of video editing and photo editing and stuff like that. So when we talk about finding style, like that's, you know, that we don't just make podcasts or paint miniatures or make videos of Trevor painting miniatures.
Or getting smashed in the face with boxes.
Or getting smashed in the face. Yeah. So,
but I mean that right there, a big part of that is finding the customer style. Which if they don't know, that's difficult. And like commission painting, right? My first thing is like, what's the feel of the army? Like, what's your style? And so it is difficult to find your own style when how you make money is finding someone else's style.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. No, it is challenging. Yeah.
And so then you got to get out of their mind space of what worked for their project. And you got to be, okay, well, how do I want mine to feel? How do we want ours to feel? How do we want this to be?
Yeah.
Because, you know, we spend our time making content for other people. But when we sit down, it's like, okay, now we got to put on our voices. Now I got to put on our thoughts, you know?
Right.
So yeah, if you can find stuff that helps you push you toward that, finding your own voice, finding your own style, YouTube is huge because there's people that have their own style. Look at Goobertown Hobbies. I mean, he is like the Bob Ross of mini. It's so chill. You have this like tinkling music. It's like very calm. It's like everybody love everybody. Just a chill thing. And then you have Casey from eBay Miniature Rescues. It's kind of like that metal kind of just feels like grungy, and he's always trying new stuff, and he's, you know, transparent about, hey, I made a mistake here, but whatever. Like, that's cool. And so their style, very unique style, and it's cool to see how that's gone as they've grown and as they've gotten bigger.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so what's your third one?
I think we share this one. I think our third one together.
Okay, on the count of three.
Oh, yeah.
We say it.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Hot dogs.
Okay. Okay.
Inspiration.
Yes. Inspiration. And that I kind of alluded to it a little bit in the previous one. But this goes more of a personal now, in that like I go there because there are a lot of things I haven't tried. A lot of it is because of commission painting, where I have to stick to a style. I have to stick to a specific paint range, a specific paint style, a specific technique, and I have to stay for like hundreds of models. And that's difficult. Right. But when I get an opportunity, either new commission or my own personal projects, I like going to YouTube for, hey, how do I do verdigris? How do I do rust? How do I do, and that's not technique, but that's like, well, maybe I want to take that and I want that to be my style, my feel.
Right. Some inspiration from seeing others try new things.
Yeah.
Right?
Or like green stuff. I follow a guy, Valbjorn, on Instagram, and he has a few stuff.
Is that the green stuff god?
So no, the green stuff god is Amphiaris.
Holy cow. You want to feel bad about your green stuff.
Oh my word, yeah.
It's amazing.
My favorite's like, well, I really wanted the specific face, and none of the heads at GW worked. So, and then like it just shows like a picture of like a green stuff ball, and like, no. And then he sculpts a dude's face.
Face, bruh. It's more like, I have this head, but I don't really have a body that fits. Bam.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He makes a whole body.
Yeah, it's like I have.
What? You replaced a body with green stuff,
You
my
only
guy.
you only kept the face. Nice. Okay.
What?
No, he's incredible. Baz Watkins, Barry Watkins, or at Enfiaris on Instagram. If you want to be just shamed by ever picking up, like out of ever picking up green stuff, you follow him.
You want to shame your family.
Yes, exactly. Or you could say like, oh, that's inspiring because he makes it look easy, and I'm never gonna get better unless I try. And he's such a cool guy. Like talking with him, he's such a cool guy. He's like super. I mean, I sent him a green stuff thing I made, and it looked like a child drawing. And it was like, hey, how can I get better? And it wasn't just like get good. You know what I mean? He like, oh, try this, try that, use this. Oh, I understand what problem you had here. Use more water, or use Vaseline, or use different tools. And it was like, this guy is looking at, it'd be like not Picasso, because his drawing sucks. It'd be like Rembrandt.
Nobody's got a nose over there.
Yeah, no one's got two eyes on the side of their face. Pablo, get it together. But like a good artist, it'd be like a good artist, Rembrandt or Van Gogh, or he's weird too, man. Artists are weird.
Somebody who is a master of their craft.
Yes, looking at someone else and is giving them actual artistic advice
and that's
and
awesome.
tips.
And that
Yeah,
that is like to never forget like your fans and the little people. Like that's awesome. That shows like
humility.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Good people.
He is good people.
Yeah.
And the Instagram community is a great community. I have not seen a lot of toxicity. Now, Twitter, don't go there. But even YouTube, sometimes, meh. But no, the Instagram community, if you get in with some of these
video.
Oh yeah, recast video. If you want to see some negativity, take a little gander there. But yeah, so the Instagram community is really good people. Yeah, so that's my inspiration. What's your inspiration?
Mine is just a lot of times when I get into something, I go hardcore, and then like I have a super weird thing about like hobbies and like YouTube. Like I'll find somebody that like I like, and then I like watch all their content exclusively.
Yeah.
And then I'm burnt out.
Yeah.
And then I don't watch YouTube for a while.
Right.
And so for me, it's inspiration because a lot of times something will pop up, and I'll be like, well, I'll see. And then I find something that gets me back into it, right? Yeah. That kind of brings me back around to the interest thing. I don't know if it's ADHD or I don't know what it is, but I just like.
There's just a lot of real life going on. You know?
Yeah. So like being inspired to do new things, make new videos, try new things. For me, it's like with the editing, like watching some of the guys you talked about. We've watched videos together because we're trying to frame your mini you painted, and we put it on the big screen. It's like, oh my goodness, we could not. We simultaneously make each other depressed because my photography or videography was so horrible, and you feel horrible because it made your things look horrible. Like
it was a great Friday, folks.
It was a complete failure of videography.
I literally packed up my stuff and left like an hour and a half early. It was such a demoralizing blow.
It was, and that was because I didn't do a good job framing it, and I didn't do a good job. There's a lot of things that went wrong.
Well, aperture, focal length, understanding when and where to shoot it, putting it on a 55-inch 4K screen.
Yeah.
Like that, there's a lot of mistakes were made.
Mistake.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but so, when you have those moments, when you hit those things and you spend all this time and effort recording it and pulling the video and getting the video into Adobe, and then you're doing all this tweaking and you're in After Effects and you're adding effects and it's not getting better, and you're like,
or like, say, for instance, just throwing it out there as like if maybe we had like a whole podcast, like where we had the entire podcast done.
Yeah.
And then we realized that we slid the gates the wrong way.
Yep. Learning about
as
gates.
a hypothetical.
As a
right?
hypothetical,
Right.
yeah.
That would be a hypothetical.
Hypothetical, one of those scenarios.
Just
That
something
could
like
be
that.
demoralizing, right?
That could potentially crush a soul
Yeah.
a little bit. Right. Not here though. This is not on this prime time, not cardboard box foam having podcast. No,
we keep it real.
We're the Cadillac of podcasts here, folks. The one on the lot that's like Cadillac with a K at the front.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. For $500.
Microsoft. Big hard.
Big hard.
Off brand.
Merchant Bob's.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, inspiration.
Yeah, good.
Yep.
So we're both inspired and stuff.
We are.
Perfect.
Keep chugging along.
Yeah. And so that's something that like we're hoping this podcast can actually do too. Oh, smooth.
Ooh.
Buttery.
Less smooth when you point it out.
Well, I'm new to this. Right? So I got to say, that was a smooth transition, not planned.
Let me segue and tell you about my segue.
I'm now going to be segueing.
Perfect.
Okay? Perfect. Sorry.
No, but that's true. That's where your heart is, right?
Yeah.
Your heart is in inspiring people.
If this podcast and other YouTube videos we make and the Hobby House Discord, if those can be used to inspire people to try new things, like we would like this to be a resource. You know, maybe you have this on in the background when you're painting or when you're building something or when you're trying a new aspect of the hobby. If you can have this on in the background and listen to thick boys, as we've dubbed ourselves. That's not the name of the podcast. We're still fishing for that, by the way. But if we can have us on in the background and maybe we are walking through a struggle that you've had, maybe we're talking about something, or we've given you like literally 15 YouTube channels to follow, or people on Instagram to follow, like maybe this can be a source of inspiration or a source of what style? No. Technique? No. Engagement, excitement. Maybe this can be something, a way for you to get into the hobby that you hadn't considered before. Maybe podcasts can be something that like you've not listened to them before. Maybe after listening to us, it might not happen again. But you never know. I got a commission off of the podcast. Like that's awesome. That's an incredible thing. And then I've been talking to the guy, and like we've been having like an actual conversation because someone listened to the podcast, and he joined the Hobby House, and like now we've been chatting, and he's building his first box. Like I'm doing a Death Guard commission for him. It's this crazy thing that.
Well, it's easy to forget that at the end of the day, we're all people.
Yeah.
And you know, there's so much crap in the world, and there's so much garbage that it's like. Just to be able to engage with people as people and help each other, you know, that's what it's about, right? Yeah. Like it's about encouraging people, it's about inspiring people, it's about making people laugh.
Well, that's community. That's what community is.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah. Awesome. Well, man, do you have any saved rounds, as they say?
No. I'm spent.
Oh, nice.
Changing mag.
Oh, so you do?
No.
Okay. Perfect.
The other mag's empty.
Yeah. Changing to an empty mag. We're screwed. Okay, awesome. Well, that has been episode 3. And thank you again, Loken, for your involvement here. Thank you again, Marshall's Miniatures Discord, for allowing me to post that on there. And next week, next podcast episode, who knows when that'll happen, hopefully next week, we'll be hitting up another community provided thing. Yeah, submitted. Community submitted. I don't know why I'm looking like an Italian with my fingers twisting the air.
Slipping into Italian.
With another community submitted topic. Dang it. I said it and you said it. But, anyway, so next week, another topic. And what is buzzing? My stuff is buzzing. That means it's time to go, folks. All right.
Wrap it up.
Bye.